Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Karex, and this will be another city build here, city start build focused on design and city planning. This map's a little bit flat. However, we got the two different connections here. We do have some water to work off of, and we also are going to be using network extensions. So this map doesn't require any mods to load, except for network extensions is going to be needed to load it in with with all the roads intact. So that's going to be important. Other than that, though, no mods required. We'll have the save file for this city start, and the save file and sort of the collection of visual mods that I'm using to achieve this look and stuff in the map and everything, so that people can get all of the information that they need on what we're doing here. But yeah, let's as per usual, let's get a functional, profiting city going in the first 15 to 20 minute episode here. So basically, that's going to be what we're tasked with. Looking at the map, we just kind of have to make some decisions about where things are going to go. Looks like it's actually interesting that there's already like this map already has like a freeway off over here. Maybe this would kind of tie into, like, I don't know, a downtown area. Would the downtown area be more over here? Would this be like an industrial area here? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Looking at the map as a whole, it seems to be, yeah, I mean, this actually could be more industry, and this could be more sort of like housing and sort of downtown and stuff, which honestly would make a lot of this probably low density. So it's kind of fitting that maybe we're kind of growing out to where downtown actually would be. This is really kind of just like there's some bumps here, but it's kind of a flattish map. I don't know if we explicitly want to connect this. We might get a lot of through traffic initially by connecting this up. We kind of just need to set some to just kind of get some roads down here and see what's up. I'm just thinking industry on this side, industry on this side. You know, honestly, industry on this side could be kind of interesting because it could feed into a commercial area here, and this could be like residential or something. So we could be planning for future moves onto these islands. And yeah, actually, I like the idea of just, I feel like it's the opposite of what typically I would think to do. So let's do industry over here as an opposite. I think eventually this probably does connect into here. So maybe we kind of pretend like it's doing that for a bit, and then we kind of have it going off at like different directions or something. In fact, this probably needs to get just reworked completely. Yeah, this probably just needs to get bopped. You know, let's just bop that. Get anarchy on so we can go with this. There we go. That seems to be wanting to do parallel, and then I don't know, something like that. It's not a perfect system, but at least this is, I think, making more sense than whatever we had initially, whatever it gave us at the start. So, I mean, maybe this one could, I don't know, it's going to be interesting because it's like, do we just ignore one of these two bits and just go with one of them? Does this sort of feed off into the industry? Does this feed off into the residential? Where does that line sort of lie between the industry, maybe over here, and the commercial? And can we even reach out there right now? Maybe we just kind of have to tuck this over here quick. We might just have to kind of move this over here kind of quick. And to get something sort of going out into this area before we lose all of our money trying to build infrastructure out to here. I think we'll have to expand out to there eventually. I think we're going to get just a preliminary amount of industry going sort of initially. Using some one-ways here might be able to kind of create something. Yeah, big open, I'm telling you, big open spaces, guys. This is what terrifies me. This is what terrifies me. This is probably the trickiest map that we're going to be taking a look at here, just because I usually like to pick. You'll notice that I like to pick the maps with a lot of like hills and rivers and stuff. Makes it very easy to figure out what you're doing. This map, it's like it's open. We got two different places to sort of build from, and it's like I don't know what the heck we're doing here. That probably just needs to be like a one-way. Whoa, undo. Oh, I guess we can't undo that, can we? like that. And then we probably need to do something eventually, like this does need to connect back in. I'm kind of thinking snail here. I'm not thinking snail. I think we've done a snail, but I don't think 2 snails would hurt. So that would basically, snail. When I say snail, I just kind of mean like a sort of a big sort of round bit here that ends up kind of shaping itself like a snail. Although I realize we might have just goofed up the actual. No, we didn't. Or did we? I don't know. Oh, we have to go 2 more, like essentially 2 long here. Is it just 2? I think so. Let's try this now. Or maybe it's 3. Maybe it's 3. Of course, we're losing all our money. Maybe if it's just 3, we could just do it this way here. Yeah, well, that's saying it's a 180, so I think we're gonna call that good. Seems to be coming in straight there. There we go. We got sort of our little snail here. Snail shell here. There we go. This could be easily where the commercial goes in. We could start sort of feeding this area with residential. I could actually see a roundabout right here to kind of distribute. Yeah, you know what? Can we get this in? Do we have the funds to get something in right here? It doesn't have to be big. Uh, 6 might be too big here. Yeah, that's too big. You know what? Let's build it and then we'll move it into place. But it just kind of seems like this would be kind of an interesting little neighborhood out here. Potentially, it's kind of, heck, it'd be kind of a big neighborhood. So having this roundabout right there kind of go along this water, and then also would tie into there, I think it makes a certain amount of sense. Let's just kind of move this into place. In fact, I don't even really explicitly mind bumping that sort of off the buildable area there a little bit. And we could twist this, right, to kind of angle itself so that these are all kind of going at the angles that we're looking for here. This might not. Ooh, yeah, I was going to say that's going to be a little bit tight there, isn't it? Maybe this whole thing does need to come down just a touch. Maybe there's an angling issue. It's hard to say. So I think freestyle this for me, would you? We do want that to be kind of swooping, and that needs to basically swoop once that tile is unlocked. Well, it doesn't have to, right? Of course it doesn't have to, but that's kind of at least the way that I'm looking at that there. So if we take this, right, and we think about here to here, that kind of leaves us with a point. If snapping not on, yeah. At this point right here, it'd be kind of cool to get this and this to hook up. Oh, it looks like it's going to. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. I like this. I like this. We do have the network extension, so we have the flexibility to do. What if we just went straight there? Because that's going to have to make kind of a hard something there. So we have different kinds of roads that we can use for road hierarchy and stuff, which is really, really nice. We can use some like skinny roads. We got some skinny roads that we can utilize, and also some unpaved roads as well. And we've spent a decent amount of our money. I'm almost kind of tempted to get the coal power plant, stick it down here, fill this with industrial. We could fill this with, you know, commercial. I don't think we're gonna need much in terms of power. By power, of course, I mean I don't think we're gonna need much in terms of like power lines and piping and stuff. I'm kind of noticing it looks like water's disappearing over here. I don't know if this is going to Yeah, I'm really not kind of sure. It'd be interesting to see how this flows, so I think we're going to do that. That's going to end up being a lot of power line right there. Really, we can't get an 8 here? We can get an 8 if we jump across. That did connect, which is good. We needed to connect that up anyways. Yeah, you know what? I think we're just going to get this going. And we'll have to kind of like move this up depending on where we end up needing to get the power in. But honestly, so far, this looks like this is going to be decent. Can we get all this connected in? I think at this point we're golden. We do need a little bit more for the power lines, right? Not particularly. I'm kind of liking some of this, not really liking this. That's partly because this is very kind of temporary, right? There's always a little bit of a limitation. Like it's I feel like it's extra kind of challenging. You know, once you have unlimited money, it's maybe a little bit easier to kind of like execute on a larger. You get some good ideas, and then you kind of have to realize that maybe those ideas can't really be applied instantly, which is kind of a bummer, honestly. Nothing worse than finally feeling like you have an idea and then you don't have the you don't have the stability to like execute it right away or something. It's just, it has to be left in your head for a little bit. So this should be able to connect into there pretty simply, and then this we'll want to get this ran up into essentially like kind of like into there, and from there we could just tie into the residential, but I'm thinking the residential we could start growing the residential from down here too, which is already tied in, so I'm not worried about that. But let's get a 12,000 bucks worth of roads in here. It would kind of make sense if we kind of followed this curvature here. That would be going straight here, and then doing, what was this? This was a 2020. Does that mean if the distance here is 7, does that mean it'd be like a 1313? It does look like that's lining up pretty well. Yeah, I think that's actually what we do here. That does match up. There's a little bit of a pinching going on here. We can fix that again, right, by cutting the zoning off this road with a pathway. We just don't have the pathways unlocked. I'm not sure if we actually want to connect that or if we just kind of want to pretend like we're connecting that. Okay. These are cheap roads too, which is kind of nice. I mean, as they should be. They're kind of like small, skinny little roads. I think here we basically need to freestyle it. I don't know. Do we hook it into there? How does this look if we wanted to go a little bit sharper? Can I grab onto this? I'm trying to use alt with precision engineering. I you know, there's probably a trick for that, and quite honestly, I've never learned it. Let's try 20. Let's try 20. It looked like we were overshooting it a little bit. That's perfect. We don't have a perfect angle. That 111.9 isn't perfect, but that looks smooth. That looks good. That looks good. No one's gonna know about that 111.8 or 0.9 degree angle. So how far off do we want to go here? I mean, this is never going to come up this way because that's what this road's going to do, right? This road's going to come into here. There might be some parks and things like that as buffer here. So how... I don't know. Kind of just eyeballing this. Kind of just freestyling a little bit, to be honest. Kind of just freestyling. It's kind of tricky because I think we were curved here and then we're straight there. And this is curved too. So none of this is quite lining up right. I don't know if we wanted to start like here. And go between these straight points and then sort of do like just a light curve onto this road. I mean, that seems to kind of like match up. I mean, do we try to mimic this kind of a road over here? How are we doing on finances here? We still have money. We still have money. I'm just kind of spitballing right now. This isn't the greatest thing in the world. That should be about 10 units, and it's saying 11. Maybe we kind of do some of these to kind of give it a little bit more flair. Maybe this actually sort of comes out. Maybe that becomes like a service area or something. Who knows? Maybe this kind of jumps out there, and then that kind of peels up with that. Kind of like creating some sort of throughs and connections and stuff. This, though, looks like that's needed to be kind of like bent so that that all made a little bit more sense. I don't know how we want to go into this area, though. A little bit further on this, a little bit closer over here. Kind of just spitballing right now, to be honest, but we got 3,000 bucks to spend. I think everything is effectively hooked up. You know, I think we're just gonna have to full on freestyle this. I'm not sure. Actually, maybe building that one first as a guide, and then building this one up. And that's even without. Okay, holding Alt seems to kind of give us get a little bit more precision there, which is nice. This is going to end up being like a very small curve. So if that's 10, that means this would be a 3-3. Yep, that's what it is. Maybe we go out just another unit or two, and then we bring it back. Okay, that's all kind of creating a. And the thing is, do we want to bring this down, or we leave that like open for a park or something? That looks okay. This looks okay. This looks fine. I think if we continued this up through, I think we could make this look decent. Okay, so this, I'm liking this. You know, relatively. Okay, so we probably will need to shoot it or jump over here. But for the most part, we're just going to be sort of zoning all of this. And it should jump over there just fine as long as it gets that one section. Okay, that's going to be a good amount of residential zone, actually. In fact, we have money. Like, this is good. This is all good. Get that set up. However, we might need to do that to kind of, again, get it to jump over. Put a bunch of commercial in the middle. I mean, ideally, you'd probably put the commercial on the outside, but I think a little bit of commercial in the middle is going to be just fine. Last thing I want to do is probably spend a little bit of money. Spend a little bit of money here, getting some more sort of back and forths on this, right? This lets them come back. This lets them go over to the industry. We probably need one more that lets them kind of swing back through here. And everybody that's going into their home is going to be coming this way. Not ideal. I'm kind of wondering if we wanted to do something like this. Even if it was just like a... Here, let's actually like really sharply go this way with it. Funny thing is, it's almost like, is that there for a reason? You know what I mean? Maybe not. Let's do something like that. That actually doesn't look too bad. It kind of ties it all in. I'm just wondering now, does that want to like curve up? I don't know. This road right here might have potential. It might need to be tweaked, but this doesn't look too bad. Let's run it, guys. Let's run it. Let's get our, this time I'm remembering to put our power and the water down right before we pause. And let's see if this can make us some money here. But so far the design actually is coming off a lot better than I thought it was going to. So I'm liking this so far. We're just going to need to make sure that there is sufficient. Oh no. Oh no. Please, please, please. Oh, we're fine. We're totally fine. Well, we were for a second. Okay. There we go. barely, but I would like to eventually connect those up. That is going to be a smooth 180. Piping here isn't even half bad, as we usually do. Let's see if we can make a profit here, guys. We got a bunch of area that's just ready to zone. Tons of potential commercial, tons of potential residential. It definitely is going to be a little bit more. We're going to need more on the industry side, but that was intentional, right? Because we have ideas to move the industry more to the water, sort of like a future port area. I think honestly, keeping the industry kind of skinny and having it come this way and having this sort of round into here and creating a good strong, we might even want to make them their own interchange here, right? Give them their own interchange here, have it feed directly into here, kind of have this be sort of like a side loop specifically for industry. Okay. That is just kind of an unfortunate reality. We're going to use move it to just slide that in. I kind of figured that would connect, but I guess I was just wrong on that. But that's fine. I'm surprised. Well, there we go. We are making a profit, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We will continue. But this city, so once a city, right? Once a city makes a profit, we could just let this run forever. Nothing will ever. This is an equilibrium, right? This, and the equilibrium is actually like it's still finding its equilibrium, right? We're still making more and more money. It's true that as this runs, we're going to need more power. But the thing is, I mean, the flip side is, if we did just let it run, some buildings wouldn't have power. They'd go abandoned, and it would find that equilibrium naturally. We could also just get rid of any zoning or whatever, knowing that we can power this right here. We could get rid of any extra zoning. We could let this run forever, and you can have, you could leave this on while you go to work or school, and then you come back, and boom, you have $300 million, right, or simoleons or whatever, right? So that's why I think, you know, we can say that, hey, hooray, the city's going to be a success because we're making money, and there's no reason why this number is ever going to go down. So guys, thank you so much for watching this first episode. I will see you guys on the next one.